Hello and welcome. In this video, we will learn how to read a relative rotation graph, often shortened to RRG, completely from scratch. By the end, you will understand what it is, why professional investors use it, the four quadrants and their colors, the famous clockwise rotation, the different time frames, and how to use it to compare sectors and stocks. Please note two important things before we begin. First, this video is purely educational. Nothing here is a buy or a sell recommendation, and it is not investment advice. Second, to keep things educational, every chart you will see uses data that is roughly 1 month old. It is illustrative only, not live market data. Please always do your own research and speak to a registered advisor before making any investment decision. With that said, let us begin. Before we dive into the mechanics, here is a simple picture to hold in your mind. Imagine the face of a clock. A sector begins at the bottom, weak and unloved, like the 6 o'clock position. As buyers slowly return, it climbs up the left side into the improving zone, around 9 o'clock. It gathers strength and swings across the top into leading, 12 o'clock, the peak of its popularity. Then, as the crowd moves on to the next thing, it rolls down the right side into weakening, around 3 o'clock, and eventually drifts back to the bottom. Round and round it goes, always clockwise, just like the hands of a clock. The seasons of the market work exactly the same way. Every sector has its spring, its summer, its autumn, and its winter. The relative rotation graph is simply a way to see, at a single glance, which season each sector is in right now. So, what is an RRG? A relative rotation graph shows you how a whole group of things, for example the sectors of the market, are performing relative to a single benchmark, usually the Nifty 50 index. It does this on two axes. The horizontal axis is called the RS ratio. It answers a simple question, is this sector stronger or weaker than the benchmark right now? The vertical axis is the RS momentum. It answers a second question, is that strength improving or is it fading away? The very center of the chart is the value 100. At 100, the sector is moving exactly in line with the benchmark. Anything to the right is stronger than the market, anything above the middle is gaining momentum. Let us slow down and really understand these two axes, because they are the heart of the graph. Start with the horizontal axis, the RS ratio. RS stands for relative strength. To build it, we simply compare the price of our sector to the price of the benchmark, the Nifty 50, and we watch how that comparison behaves over time. If the sector is climbing faster than the Nifty, the ratio rises and the dot moves to the right. If the sector is falling behind, even if its own price is going up, the ratio falls and the dot moves to the left. This is the single most important idea. The RRG is about relative performance, not absolute. A stock can be rising in rupee terms and still drift left, simply because the market is rising even faster. Now the vertical axis, the RS momentum. This is just the momentum, the rate of change, of that same relative strength line. When the sector is not only strong, but getting stronger, momentum is positive, and the dot sits in the upper half. When the sector is losing relative ground, momentum turns negative, and the dot falls into the lower half. So, to summarize, left and right tell you strong or weak, up and down tell you improving or fading. Two simple measures, but together, They capture the entire life cycle of a trend, from birth to peak to decline. A quick but important word about the benchmark. Everything you see on this chart is measured against one single yardstick, and for the Indian market, that yardstick is the Nifty 50 index. This is exactly why the center of the chart, the value 100, represents the Nifty itself. A sector sitting precisely at the center is performing exactly in line with the broad market. The benchmark is the reason the RRG is so powerful. Instead of asking, simply, is this sector going up, a question whose answer depends on the mood of the entire market, it asks a much sharper question, is this sector beating the market, or is it losing to it? That relative view is what lets you spot leadership quietly rotating from one part of the market to another, often long before it shows up in the news headlines. Just keep one thing in mind, the benchmark is a choice. If you ever change it, every single position on the chart will shift along with it. Those two questions, strong or weak, and improving or fading, combine to make 4 quadrants, each with its own color. Top right, in green, is leading. These are stronger than the market and still gaining. They are the current winners. Bottom right, in yellow, is weakening, still strong, but the momentum is fading, winners that are starting to tire. Bottom left, in red, is lagging, weaker than the market, and still losing ground. And top left, in blue, is improving, still weak, but momentum is turning up. These are often tomorrow's potential leaders. Keep these colors in mind, green, yellow, red and blue, because the whole chart is built around them. Let us give those 4 quadrants a bit of real-world feeling. The green leading quadrant is the sector everyone is talking about. It has already risen a lot, and it is still going. This is the obvious, visible strength. The yellow weakening quadrant is a former favorite that is quietly stalling. It is still high on the chart, but the buyers are thinning out and momentum is slipping. The red lagging quadrant is the ignored, out of favor part of the market, cheap and unloved, and not yet showing any turn. And the blue improving quadrant is the quiet comeback story, still weak overall, but momentum is picking up, as though the smart money is beginning to return before the crowd notices. Leading is the loud strength, improving is the quiet strength. Learning to value the quiet strength in the blue quadrant, before it becomes obvious, is one of the real skills the RRG helps you build. So why do professional investors and analysts love this chart so much? 3 reasons. First, it compares many things at once. Instead of flipping through dozens of individual charts, you see every sector on a single screen, ranked by both strength and momentum. Second, it shows rotation, not just where leadership has been, but where it appears to be heading next. That forward-looking quality is rare and valuable. And third, because it is relative, it cuts straight through the noise of whether the overall market is up or down on any given day, and simply asks who is winning and who is losing. In short, the relative rotation graph takes a messy, overwhelming market of thousands of moving parts and turns it into one simple, visual story that you can read in just a few seconds. Now let us look at a real relative rotation graph. Here is every major sector of the Indian market plotted against the Nifty 50 using weekly data from about 1 month ago. Watch as each sector draws its path. Each little dot is a sector, and the line trailing behind it, called the tail, shows where it has been over the past several weeks. Notice how they spread across the 4 colored quadrants. The green, leading sectors sit to the top right. The blue, improving sectors are to the top left. On the right you can see which sectors were leading and which were improving on this date 1 month ago. Here is the single most important idea in this whole video: rotation. Sectors do not jump around randomly. Most of the time, they rotate in a clockwise direction. A sector usually starts in the blue improving quadrant. As its strength builds, it moves to the right into the green leading quadrant. Then, as its momentum begins to tire, it drifts downward into the yellow weakening quadrant. From there, if strength keeps fading, it falls to the left into the red lagging quadrant. And finally, when it bottoms out, it curls back up into the blue improving quadrant, and the cycle begins again. Improving, leading, weakening, lagging, clockwise, around and around. Once you can see this rotation, the RRG stops looking like a cloud of dots and starts telling you a story. Let us talk about how to actually read one of these tails. The tail is the sequence of weekly points behind each dot. Two things about the tail matter most. First, its direction. Which way is the head of the tail pointing? A sector curling up and to the right is strengthening. One rolling over, down and to the left, is weakening. Second, its length. A long tail means the sector is moving quickly through the graph, a strong trend. A short, tight tail means it is barely moving relative to the market. So always read the head of the tail first for direction, then the length for speed. The RRG can be drawn on different time frames. The most popular for sector rotation is the weekly chart, where each point on the tail represents 1 week. It is smooth, and it captures medium-term trends, which is exactly what rotation is about. There is also a daily chart, where each point is a single day. It reacts faster, but it is also noisier, with more false turns. A common professional approach is to confirm the bigger picture on the weekly chart first, and then use the daily chart only for fine-tuning the timing. Throughout this video, we are using the weekly chart because rotation is fundamentally a medium-term story. Now, to more things you will hear experienced users talk about: the center lines and distance. The RRG has a vertical line and a horizontal line that cross exactly at the value 100, the benchmark itself. The vertical line separates weaker, on the left, from stronger, on the right. The horizontal line separates fading momentum, below, from improving momentum, above. Now, distance. The further a sector sits from the center, the more extreme its position. A sector far out in the top right is powerfully leading, but also stretched, and often closer to rolling over. A sector hugging the center is moving roughly with the market. So distance from the center tells you how strong and how stretched a move has become. So how do you actually use all this? The professional method is top-down, in 3 simple steps. Step 1. Look at the sector chart and find the sectors sitting in the green leading quadrant and the blue improving quadrant. Step 2. Pick the strongest of those sectors. Step 3. Drill into that sector, take its individual stocks, and plot them on the very same relative rotation graph against the same benchmark. The idea is simple but powerful. Strong stocks inside strong sectors tend to be the ones that lead the market. Let us do exactly that now. Here we have drilled into the telecom sector, one of the stronger sectors from our earlier chart, and plotted its individual stocks on the same graph. Now we are comparing each stock, not to the whole market, but within its sector context. The stocks in the green leading quadrant are the strongest names carrying the sector. The ones in the blue improving quadrant are the up-and-comers to keep an eye on. And notice the highlighted rings around some dots, those are the high potential names. Let us be clear about those badges or rings. A ring around a dot in the green leading quadrant marks a stock that is strong and still gaining, a current leader within its sector. A ring in the blue improving quadrant marks a stock that is turning up from weakness, a potential future leader. These badges are simply a visual way to flag where the best positioned names sit on the chart. They are absolutely not a signal to buy anything. And, once more, everything here is an educational illustration built on data that is about 1 month old. One of the best ways to build intuition is to look backwards. Here is the same sector relative rotation graph, but now from about 3 months ago. Compare it in your mind with the chart from 1 month ago that we saw earlier. Notice how sectors have rotated between the two dates, some that were leading here later began to weaken, and some that were improving pushed on into the leading quadrant. Studying how the picture changed from one date to another is how you train your eye to anticipate the clockwise rotation. Because we have several years of data, you can roll back to almost any past date and study how the market rotated, all without ever needing live data. A practical setting you control is the length of the tail, that is, how many past periods you draw behind each dot. A short tail, of just a few weeks, reacts quickly. It is great for spotting a fresh turn early, but it can also be noisy, jumping around on small wiggles. A longer tail, of many weeks, is much smoother. It shows you the bigger swing and filters out the noise, but it reacts more slowly, so you see turns a little later. For the weekly chart, a tail of roughly 5 to 8 weeks is a well-balanced default that most people find comfortable. In this video, we are deliberately using a short, clean tail so that the direction of rotation is as easy as possible to see. Let us go a little deeper on time frames, because combining them well is what separates a beginner from an experienced user. Think of the weekly chart as the trend, the big picture. It is slow and smooth, and its direction is reliable. Think of the daily chart as the timing, the fine detail. It is fast and responsive, but on its own it is full of false turns. The professional method is to let the two work together. First, look at the weekly chart to understand what is rotating, which sectors are moving into leadership, and which are rolling over. Only then, turn to the daily chart to fine-tune when. One firm rule: do not trade the daily chart against a clear weekly trend. Fighting the bigger picture is just chasing noise, and it is one of the most common ways beginners lose their way. Let us put everything together with a real-worked example. I have highlighted a single sector, telecom, and dimmed the rest, so we can follow its journey. Watch its tail draw in. Notice which quadrant the tail begins in, and which way the head is pointing now. If the head is up and to the right, and it sits in the green leading quadrant, this sector is strong and still gaining. It is carrying the market. If instead the tail had curled over and was heading down toward the yellow weakening quadrant, that would be our early warning that its leadership was starting to tire. Ask yourself those two questions every time: which quadrant and which direction is the head pointing? Do that, and you have read the sector correctly. Now let us drop one level into the stocks. Inside the telecom sector, The name sitting furthest into the green leading quadrant on this date was HFCL. That is the top-down method working exactly as intended, a leading stock inside a leading sector, measured against the same benchmark. In real life, this is where you would begin your homework. You would open that stock's own price chart, check its trend and its volume, and decide for yourself. And I must be very clear here, naming this stock is purely to show you how to read the graph. It is absolutely not a recommendation to buy it. Everything here is educational, on data that is about 1 month old. So how do you turn all of this into something you can actually use week to week? You build a watch list in 4 simple steps. Step 1. From the sector chart, write down the sectors sitting in the green leading quadrant. Step 2. Add the sectors in the blue improving quadrant, the ones turning up, tomorrow's potential leaders. Step 3. Drill into each of those sectors and note the leading and improving stocks inside them. And Step 4. Treat that short list as your study universe, the small set of names worth your deeper attention. The RRG does not make the decision for you. What it does, beautifully, is narrow a market of thousands of stocks down to a focused handful, so your research time goes where the strength actually is. Before we wrap up, let us cover the mistakes that trip up almost every beginner, so you can skip them. The first, and biggest, reading the graph as absolute performance. A dot on the left side is not necessarily falling in price. It may well be rising, it is simply lagging the market. Always think relative. The second mistake, ignoring direction. A dot in the green leading quadrant that is heading downward is, in truth, weaker than a dot in the red lagging quadrant that is turning upward. Direction matters more than the current quadrant. The third, chasing a dot that has shot far out into a corner. Remember, extreme means stretched, and stretched moves are often close to a turn. And the fourth, using the RRG all by itself. The graph tells you where to look, it does not tell you when to act. Always confirm with the price chart and your own analysis before doing anything. This leads naturally to how the RRG fits into a complete process. Think of it as a powerful filter, not a crystal ball. You use the rotation graph to find strength, to surface the sectors and stocks that are worth your study. Then you confirm with price, you open the actual chart and look at the trend, the support and resistance levels, and whether it is breaking out. On top of that, you add your own checks, the fundamentals, the news, your risk, and how much you would ever put into a single position. The rotation graph is one excellent lens in that process. It is never, by itself, the whole decision. Used that way, as a filter that focuses your attention, it becomes genuinely valuable. Here is the best way to get good at this, quickly. Use history to train your eye. Roll the chart back to some past date and read it as though that were the present moment. Make a prediction, which sectors look ready to rotate into the green leading quadrant. Which ones look like they are rolling over and about to weaken? Write your answer down. Then step the chart forward a few weeks and simply see what actually happened. Were you right? Where were you wrong, and why? Repeat this across many different periods in different kinds of markets. This little exercise, predict, then check, is by far the fastest way to build real, lasting intuition for how rotation works. And because you are always working with past data, it costs you nothing and risks nothing. Let us look at the full sector chart one more time, and this time, you do the reading. Pause for a moment as the tails draw in. Find the green leading quadrant in the top right. Those are your current strong sectors. Now find the blue improving quadrant in the top left. Those are the ones turning up. Look at the direction each head is pointing. Are the leaders still climbing, or are some beginning to curl over toward weakening? Is anything down in the lagging quadrant just starting to hook upward? Every single time you open a chart like this, run through that same simple routine, quadrant first, then direction. With a little practice, this becomes second nature, and the whole market story will open up to you in seconds. Let us turn everything into a simple checklist you can run through every single time you look at a relative rotation graph. Just 5 questions. Question 1. Which quadrant is the dot in? Green, yellow, red, or blue? Question 2. Which direction is the head of the tail pointing? Question 3. How long is the tail? Is it moving fast or barely drifting? Question 4. How far from the center is it? Is it in a normal range, or is it stretched all the way out to a corner? And question 5. Does what you are seeing fit the clockwise rotation story? And, just as importantly, what does the actual price chart confirm? Ask those 5 questions in that order, and you will never again feel lost looking at one of these charts. A question people often ask is, how often should I actually look at this? The answer follows the time frame. Because we are using the weekly chart, checking once a week is plenty. Many people like to do it over the weekend, calmly, when the market is closed. Remember, rotation is a slow, medium-term process. Staring at it every hour only adds noise and stress, and tempts you into overtrading. What you are really watching for, week to week, are the meaningful changes, a sector crossing over into a new quadrant, or the head of a tail clearly changing its direction. Those are the moments that matter. And, as always throughout this video, you study it on delayed data, never on a live feed. Let us be honest and balanced about this tool, because every tool has limits. What does the relative rotation graph do well? It ranks the entire market at a single glance, it reveals rotation early, and it cuts cleanly through the daily noise. Those are real strengths. But it also has limits you must respect. First, it is relative only. A sector can be leading on this chart and still fall in price if the whole market is falling around it. Second, it lags a little because it is built on smooth data, so it will never catch the exact top or bottom. And third, it knows nothing about news, earnings, or fundamentals, it only sees relative price. So please treat it for what it is, an excellent compass that points to where strength is building. It is never, by itself, a buy or a sell signal. To finish the practical part, here is a gentle plan for your very first week with this tool. On day 1, simply open the weekly sector chart and do nothing more than name the quadrant each sector sits in. That alone builds the habit. On days 2 and 3, drill into one leading sector and one improving sector and look at the individual stocks inside them. On days 4 and 5, roll the chart back by a month and practice predicting how the rotation will unfold, then check yourself. And over the weekend, pick out your handful of strong names, the ones worth studying further, always with your own analysis on top. Do that for a few weeks, and reading rotation will start to feel completely natural. Let us quickly recap everything. An RRG has 2 axes, the RS ratio, measuring strong versus weak, and the RS momentum, measuring improving versus fading, both centered on 100. Those axes make 4 quadrants: leading, weakening, lagging, and improving, which most sectors rotate through in a clockwise direction. You read each sector by the direction and length of its tail and by how far it sits from the center. And you use it top-down, find the strong sectors first, then the strong stocks inside them. That is the entire method. And that is how you read a relative rotation graph. If you found this useful, please subscribe to AtredLLib for more clear, informative videos like this one. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, everything here was for education only, using data about 1 month old. Take care and happy learning.